welcome to Pet Pals. I'm Bethany Davidson, the Humane Educator here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. This week we're going to introduce you to 10 of our adoptable animals here. And starting off first, our volunteer and animal wrangler Tammy has a new addition to the adoption floor, Max. Max is a 1-year-old domestic shorthair. He's an orange tabby. He came to us, like many cats and dogs for that matter. The family was moving and they were unable to take their pets with them. So they brought him here to us where we can hopefully find him another loving home very quickly. He is a very sweet guy. In the short amount of time he's been here, he's become some of our staff members' favorite. He's just very sweet. He is a little bit on the shyer side, doesn't necessarily right now as he's adjusting come right up to the front of the cage, but once you stick your hand in and kind of interact with him, he rubs up against your hand, he really wants you to pet him and things like that. According to his previous owners, they too noticed that he can be a little bit on the shy side, but he is friendly and calm, he's has a playful side. He is a little bit older, or excuse me, he is just a year old, so he's past all of that kitten stage where he's going to be, you know, really waking you up all the time and very needy and demanding of your attention. He's kind of settled in, so you know what his personality is going to be. It's with a kitten, you never really know what you're going to get. So with this guy, you're going to have a nice, a long life together, but you don't have to deal with all of the kind of obnoxiousness that comes with having a kitten. And because he has lived in a home before, most of the time they kind of know, you know, that they need to scratch on their scratching post and things like that, which he does. So if you're interested in adopting Max, you can stop in and visit with him here at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. We are open to the public Monday through Saturday, and during the month of July, all of our cats and kittens will be going home for a fee of $15.50. Our next guest is Crosscut, and she definitely stands out in the crowd of the cats on the adoption floor. She has a very unique look to her. She has a very long and narrow, kind of exotic face that really sets her apart. She is not an exotic breed. She is just a domestic shorthair. She's a brown tabby with white. She came to us as a stray, and she is estimated to be between 1 and 2 years old. She is color-coded orange, which just means she's an individually average cat as far as her personality and things like that. But she is one who will come up to the front of the cage and greet you. You know, she was pretty accepting of me picking her up and carrying her. She's purring. She seems pretty content to kind of look around and hang out on Tammy's lap. So all of those things kind of work to her favor. Since she's been in our care, we've already spayed her. We've gotten her up to date on her vaccinations, her rabies and her distemper. She's been dewormed. We've given her her necessary flea and tick preventative. We've made sure that she's microchipped. So if she were to get out again, we would be able to get her back home. So we've done all of that. Normally, the adoption fee for our adult cats, like Crosscut, would be $97.50. But during the month of July, we're participating in the Maryland 2000. So you could adopt Crosscut or any of the cat and kittens on our cats or kittens on our adoption floor for just $15.50. So if you wanted to make Miss Crosscut part of your family, first step is going to be to stop in and visit. It is an application process. We do not do same-day adoptions here. You can visit her during our open kennel hours, which are going to be Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 10 to 5, Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 8, and on Saturdays from 10 to 4. This handsome ball of fluff is Charlie, and Charlie is a cat that's actually a return to shelter. He was adopted from us as a kitten. If you go on our Pet Tango site, you can still actually see a picture of Charlie the kitten. He's now 5 years old, and he was brought back to us because apparently someone in the home, it looks like, developed allergies. So they did what we ask of people. If you're unable to rehome the animal yourself, before you take it to another shelter or try to get rid of it on Craigslist, something like that, we ask you to bring the animal back to us so that we can find them another suitable home. When Charlie came in, he came in with several large mats on his body. So when you're visiting with Charlie, you're going to notice that he has some big shaved spots where we went ahead and shaved those mats off of him. When you're getting a cat that's a domestic long hair or domestic medium hair, or any of the the longer haired breeds, you really want to make sure that you're committed to the grooming that is required for these animals. So he does need to be brushed at a minimum several times a week, just to make sure that those mats don't develop again. They can be very painful for the cats. You know, it starts to get, when it gets close to the skin, it pulls on the skin. It's very, it's just an annoyance. It's something that makes them uncomfortable. So before you look and say, oh my gosh, he's so beautiful, I want to make him part of our home, you want to make sure that you're committed to providing him with that proper care, which is going to include grooming him. Hopefully, in the next few weeks, all of that fur will start to grow back in a little bit for Mr. Matt, or for Mr. Charlie here. According to the previous owners, he has gotten along with other cats as well as dogs. He's been around children of a variety of ages. They say that he's calm, he's easy to handle, which I can attest to. I picked him up and carried him out. Wasn't really a big issue. He was a little bit uneasy just about the change in his situation, not really knowing what was going on. They say he's independent and friendly. So he has a lot of good things going for him, but you do want to make sure that you're willing to commit to his grooming needs. He is a very sweet guy. He's been relatively calm and quiet here in the shelter, not really asking for a lot of attention, just kind of settling in and getting used to his new surroundings. If you want to make Charlie here part of your home, again, during the month of July, you could adopt him for a fee of $15.50. But if you're seeing this at another time, our normal adoption fee is $97.50, and then for seniors like Charlie who are 5 and up, you get a $20 reduction in your adoption fee, which would make him $77.50. This is Gwendolyn, and she is one of the many animals that come to us previously owned. Unfortunately, some people do not fill out the behavior profiles or personality profiles for us, which can make it difficult to figure out, you know, what is going to be the best home for these animals. So, like on hers, everything was listed as NA. So we don't know, you know, it doesn't say how long they've had the cat or, you know, any of the types of kind of important things that might help us find her a more suitable home. So if you have to surrender a cat, we want to make it would really help us and the animal if you would fill these out as completely as possible, so that we have as much information as we can have, so that we can house them and rehome them to a place where they're going to feel comfortable and everybody's going to be happy with that situation. She did come to the family as a stray, and she came in with 2 other cats. So, you know, we don't really know what that relationship is, but she was out with those other 2 cats. Since she's been here, she's been nothing but sweet. She comes right to the front of her cage. She's been affectionate. She was pretty comfortable with me carrying her around and was just kind of looking around and not really seeming to be anxious or upset with the situation. It was one of those things where I could hold her and still do other things with my other hand. On Tammy's lap, she's just kind of looking around. She's rolling around, making herself right at home, and not really showing any signs of anxiety. So hopefully she'll adjust well to a new home environment. You know, they were saying that she was outside. It looks like she is going to be thrilled to be an indoor cat, just hanging out on laps and things like that. We have estimated Gwendolyn to be approximately 1 to 2 years old. So she is a pretty petite cat at 7 pounds, and she does still have a bit of that kitten face, and so she's going to be that forever kitten, and she has great markings. She's black and white, and she's got that white spot on her nose, the white whiskers, which really helps her stand out a little bit. She is going to make a wonderful pet. She just has to find the right family for her. If you think that you might be that family, you can stop in and visit with her here, fill out an application, but the first step is going to be coming to 1832 Rosemont Avenue just to check her out. Our last cat today is Posy, and she is adorable. She is black and white. She's about 9 months old, so still a kitten, but, you know, a little bit more established, a little bit less into the, you know, aggressive, you know, play, the climbing the curtains, all that type of stuff. She came in with another cat named Muffin, and they both are polydactyl, with Posey here, she doesn't have an extra toe. She just has the extra pad and the long bone there. So she's a little bit unique. She is also allegedly the daughter of my favorite cat on the adoption floor, T-Rex cat Ducky. So she comes from a cute line of cats. She just needs to find her own forever home. None of the 3 cats are in cages together, so they could be adopted separately, but if you are looking to add multiple cats to your household, they might be options for you. So Ducky, Posey, and then Muffin. She is a little bit on the shyer side. She's color-coded green, but she's definitely kind of just hanging out in her litter box right now, which is a common thing when they're a little nervous in new situations because their litter box is something consistent for them. They have one wherever they are. It smells like them, so it gives them kind of a safe zone. And also, she's not feeling 100% right now. She's got a little bit of the sniffles, so maybe once she's feeling better, she'll be a little bit more active, but she's always been an incredibly sweet little girl. The previous owner said that she is a little shy. She has lived with other cats, as we've already mentioned, as well as dogs. She was surrendered because there were too many cats in the household. It says that she's independent, able to handle, and then she's also afraid of loud noises. And a lot of cats are vacuums and thunderstorms and things like that. Other than that, we don't really have a lot of additional information for her. If you wanted to meet with her and kind of see how she is yourself, you can do that here at the shelter. Our address is 1832 Rosemont Avenue, and our visiting hours are going to be Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 10 to 5, Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 8, and on Saturday from 10 to 4. We hope you enjoyed meeting some of our adoptable cats. After the short break, we're going to introduce you to 5 adoptable dogs as well.
I'm Frederick County Executive Jan Gardner. From the shores of the Potomac River to the foothills of the Catoctin Mountains, with all the farms and bustling communities in between, there's truly something for everyone in Frederick County. Come and explore Frederick County's rich history and be part of our bright future.
Welcome back. Our first canine is Shadow, and he is just a great dog. I've heard nothing but great things from staff and volunteers about Shadow. Shadow came to us as a stray, and we have him down as an approximately 3-year-old husky mix. He's black and white. He does have a little bit of a shorter, thinner coat than some other huskies, so his grooming needs are still there, but probably aren't going to be as great as some other huskies that we've had on the show in the past. Because he came to us as a stray, we don't really know his full story. However, somebody then later surrendered another dog named Luna, who will also be on the show today, who we've been told they are brother-sister, if you will. They live together in the same house type of a situation. We behavior assess all of our dogs here, so Shadow did get behavior assessed. He has a great assessment. It says he keeps his kennel clean, he's friendly when you approach his his kennel. He reacts favorably to other dogs or has no reaction. He's easy to obtain. He walks nicely on his leash. They were unable to test him for food aggression, but then they hand-fed him, and he was just very gentle, no issues there. He willingly lets go of objects, and then he's very gentle, and even with his toys, he loves to be petted. You can handle his mouth and with just a little resistance. His feet, doesn't care at all. So he's just an amazing dog who will hopefully find a home very quickly. Other things that just in a short period of time, you notice he does know his name. And we know that this is his name. He has pretty good recall. When you say his name, he looks at you, he'll come to you, he knows sit. So he just has a lot of good things going for him. He just needs to find a forever home. If you are interested in making Shadow part of your family, you can stop in and visit with him here. Our adoption fee for adult dogs like Shadow is $92.50. This is Luna. This is the dog that allegedly came from the same home as sister, if you will, to brother Shadow. She is 10 months old, so she's still just a big old puppy. The previous owner said she was a lab mix, so we have her down as such. She is brindle in color. Luna is her name. When they come in with a name, we will not change them unless it's detrimental to the adoption process or an offensive name. So we keep their names for them. According to the previous owner, their home just wasn't big enough. There is another dog listed named Jug that lived in their home. She's been around cats and dogs, children of all ages. They say that, yes, she is both house-trained and crate-trained. She's playful, a jumper, walks well on leash, energetic, friendly, rides well in a car, used to baths. She gets a little nervous when you leave her. So she basically just has, all the things that describe a dog. Our behavior assessment here, we found that she does indeed keep her kennel clean. She is friendly, of course. She reacts favorably to other dogs. She's easy to get leashed up. She can pull a little bit when she's walking, so a harness might be beneficial for her. No issues with food aggression. She, got really excited initially with toys, but then quickly lost interest. She seems to be really interested in people, and she was, if I'm correct, you can correct me if I'm wrong, excited to see Shadow. He was kind of indifferent to her. She loves to be petted, just, a little bit of resistance with handling her feet and mouth. So she too is just an amazing dog, but as a younger dog, she's still going to have a higher energy level, and she's still going to need some training. She does do a sit occasionally, but, depending on what you want her to do, just a little bit more training would be beneficial for her. Because she is a puppy, she would be adopted through our puppy process, which means we're going to take up to 4 applications for her and find the best home for her out of those 4. And then our puppy adoption fee for anything under a year old is $150. Our next guest is Diesel, and he's about a year old, and he is a Rottweiler mix. He came to us previously owned. They said that they can no longer keep him at their new home, and they just ran out of options, so they brought him here. They'd had him for approximately a year. He has lived with other dogs. He lived with a female pit bull mix, and he seems to be interested in other dogs here in the shelter environment. Play bowing at a couple of them. One thing that we have noticed about Diesel is that he can be very shy and uncomfortable around new people. He does better when he's introduced to new people by someone that he knows and is comfortable with. Our behavior assessment of him indicates that. So once he knows you, he is very friendly, but he does take time to acclimate. With strangers, he does typical things that are exhibiting caution. So he has his tail tucked, his head down, he backs away from you, he tries to avoid eye contact, those types of things. With other dogs, he has no reaction kind of when he is in his kennel and they're walking past him, unless they approach him negatively, and then he kind of gives as good as he gets. He's easy to obtain. He's difficult to walk. He's still a young dog, so he pulls and jumps on things. He really needs to work on those manners So all of those basic things, polite leash walking, not to jump up to attention seek, you know, and all of those things can help build his confidence as well, to make him just feel more comfortable in his own skin. No real problems with food aggression. You know, he does body block sometimes, and occasionally he would freeze and growl and go after the food bowl, you know, with more intensity. So because of that and just his shyness around strangers, we are recommending that he go to a home with children that are at least 13 or older, or an adult-only home. He reluctantly gives up toys, but he is gentle and sweet with his toys. He loves to be petted. He can resist, you know, which is typical when handling feet and mouth. So he has potential, but he really needs somebody who's committed to him, is going to be patient with him. He also does kind of a weird thing with his face. He kind of clenches up his lips, and not necessarily an aggressive thing, just part of his personality. If you're interested in making Diesel part of your family, you can visit him here at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. This dog, who's under the table right now, is Riley. And Riley is a 4-year-old Shepherd mix. And she is definitely living in her own world. She's very sweet. She's very affectionate. She's a little goofy. And she's just is kind of indescribable. So Riley is 4 years old. She came to us previously owned. Unfortunately, the family was homeless. So the situation Riley's coming from, you know, they were providing the best care for her, but ultimately it was kind of, you know, not the best situation for her. So she was brought here to us so that we could find her another loving home. She's very, very affectionate. She loves toys. As you can see, she's a bit of a little weirdo in her own way there. She is very stubborn, and she is determined to do what she wants when she's on her leash. So she needs a little work on walking nicely on her leash. She will just stop and decide that she doesn't want to go anywhere else. So she could use some help with that. She is also fearful of loud noises. Thunderstorms are not her friend. So we have a thunder shirt for her that we use to help her with that. The fire alarm went off the other day as well. She wasn't really feeling that type of a situation either. So she needs someone who's going to be really patient, really understanding, is going to work with her to you know, build her confidence, to learn to walk nicely on a leash. She's not really used to wearing a lot of collar and harness and things like that, so get her accustomed to that. And just help her see that things aren't scary as well. So getting, you know, understanding that, you know, she shouldn't be left alone when you know, thunderstorms and things are going on, and how to confine her safely and make her more comfortable. The previous owner did say that she's been around other dogs and as well as children. She's playful, energetic, friendly, afraid of noises, which we've all definitely noticed. They say that she's a fence jumper, and that she does walk nicely on a leash, but she's got some issues with it that we've seen here. They said that she is house trained. So, you know, she has a lot of good things working for her, but she will definitely be a bit of a project dog for somebody. If you are interested in making this super special dog part of your family, you can visit her here at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Our next guest is Onyx, and he is one of our older puppies. He's about 9 months old. He is a Cane Corso mix. So he's going to get a little bit bigger, and he is kind of your typical goofy puppy. You know, he likes to play. He loves his toys. He needs to work on some manners things, you know, jumping and things of that nature. You know, walking on his leash without, you know, pulling and jumping up on people. Just some basic things like that. But the main thing with Onyx is that he's very intense about his food. So We behavior assess animals here for food aggression, and we use a plastic hand. And so Onyx bit the plastic hand, but we have volunteers who have been working with him, and he's fine with a human hand. And there have been studies to show that some dogs just don't do well with those plastic hands for whatever reason. So because he does fine with an actual human hand, we have decided to go ahead and put him on the adoption floor, even though he can be a little intense with food. So because of that, we are saying that he needs to go to a home with children who are at least 16 or older to understand, and his behaviors, and to work with him, and to just ensure that there's not going to be any serious issue where a person or Onyx is going to get hurt. So that's going to be very important, making sure that age restriction is followed. When he's adopted, his new owners are going to have to continue to work with him on those basics. We trade with him. We don't just take his food away. We want him to understand that we're not taking things from him. If something is taken, he's given something else in return, so that he doesn't have to feel like he needs to protect his food or any of his things for that matter. He is a bit of a submissive guy. He gets excited. Sometimes when he's excited to see people, he will pee a little bit. So, helping to build his confidence could work with that. All in all, he's a great dog, but he is going to need someone who's committed to working with him, making him the best version of himself. If you wanted to adopt him, he would be adopted for a fee of $150 as he is a puppy. We want to thank you for watching today and meeting some of our adoptable animals. As is always the case, if you didn't see something that you're interested in here today, visit the shelter. There are many more adoptable animals on our floor here. We hope that you will tune in again next week as well to meet more of our FCAC residents.
Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center is teaming up with more than a dozen shelters this July for the Maryland 2000. The goal of this statewide event is to find new and loving homes for at least 2,000 unwanted cats and kittens. For the entire month of July, Frederick County Animal Control will be reducing the adoption fee for all of our fantastic felines to $15.50. Regular adoption procedures will still apply. For more information about this event, visit frederickcountymd.gov/FCAC.
What is your vision for Frederick County's future? Would it include great schools and a business-friendly environment? How about arts, culture, and recreation? Or vast farmlands and thriving towns? Would you want a strong public safety presence and less traffic? These are some of the quality of life topics that are included in a long-term comprehensive plan called Livable Frederick, initiated by County Executive Jan Gardner. Part of this innovative plan includes a survey to gain insight about how citizens envision Frederick County in 30 years and beyond. This survey is available online at livablefrederick.org, and paper copies are available at local libraries and a variety of county locations. Everyone is invited to participate. The deadline to submit surveys online is July 22nd, or fill out a paper version as late as September 16th. Livable Frederick is your chance to shape the future of Frederick County. To join the conversation and get engaged, visit livablefrederick.org and click like at facebook.com/livablefrederick.
Catoctin Creek Nature Center is excited to offer field trips year-round for public, private, and homeschooled students from pre-K through high school. A hands-on experience will allow students to discover and explore the wildlife in the Piedmont region of Maryland. Topics will include Catoctin Creek critters, investigating insects, and seasons of change. Having fun, exploring, and educating are the components that make Catoctin Creek Nature Center such an excellent resource for outdoor education. For more information or to schedule a field trip, please call our main office at 301-600-2936 or visit us on the web at www.recreator.com.